Hey friends, Cherie here. Welcome back to the channel, Gardening at Home with Cherie. Well, I'm back again with some harvest time. I'm on the other side of my garden, and actually on the outside of the garden around my perimeter where I'm growing all kinds of herbs and flowers. And this year, for the first time, I'm actually putting a bunch of other food here. And so I don't want to have a couple of the herbs that I've been growing over here to spread too much, because they're going to block out some of the seeds that I've sown from growing. And so on this side, I have more ginger mint that has spread beyond its bounds. And so I'm going to actually pull all of that pretty much, because again, I have several of these. I think these are 2 feet by 4 feet beds, and I have a total of 18 of them framing my garden on 3 sides, and so on 2 sides rather. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get this out, because I have plenty of ginger mint that I harvested last year and preserved. I have already harvested a bunch already, and it's just the second week in June here in Minnesota Zone 4. So I'm gonna go ahead and again pull most of this out by the roots. I might have a section where I just kind of cut it back. I might not, I don't know, because I really do. I have a bunch of food that I'm going to be growing all along this fence line, and so I need that space, and the mint will certainly smother it. So today I'm going to harvest ginger mint. I'm going to leave this one spearmint here. A spearmint or peppermint. I think that's peppermint actually. And then again, there's some ginger mint over in here that doesn't belong. My dahlias are coming up, which is exciting. This is all some stray calla lucies that I'm going to go ahead and pull out, because again, I want to keep this area clear. And so I think I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that mint, but then any mint that I find, like over here, I'm going to go ahead and pull that out as well. And again, more might pop up throughout the season and spread. That's fine. I'm just going to pull it and preserve it. The mint in these beds I've already kind of cleared, and they are staying in their bounds pretty much. I do have a chunk here. I'm going to get this back chunk here, because again, I have some things that I'm going to plant so that they grow up this fence line, and I want that space. So I'm going to pull that out. Plus, there's already a plant there that I don't want to get smothered. And then same thing here. I'm probably going to pull both of those. Well, I'm going to pull that one. I'm going to leave this one here in the front, because I think my onions will be okay for now. What I might do though is just cut it back and let it regrow again. On this side here, this is where I showed you a recent video where this has just grown in so much with all the rain, and so I need to pull all of that out. I'm going to try and get the roots out with all of this here, so that it's not smothering everything. I did notice here my apple mint in this bed is starting to come back. Apple mint is a mint variety that you can grow true to seed. So that's very exciting that the seeds, I don't know if this is like a perennialized plant or if just some seeds dropped and it's resprouting. I mean, I don't have a way of really knowing that. But I'm gonna get this chunk out here from the front and transplant that. This is one mint variety that I don't have quite as much I've preserved. I have hundreds of seeds, so, and I have some plants actually growing. So I was delighted to see that this was coming back. I saw it in another bed somewhere too. So yeah, that's cool. Okay, and I'm back on this side of the garden now. I'm gonna be cutting back all of this mint. I'm gonna cut it down to the ground, pretty much all of it, get it preserved, and then these are going to grow back. But you can see here the tomatoes are growing in really beautifully, and so I don't want anything too tall blocking. Most of them have gotten tall enough that the mint is just kind of a ground cover beneath them, but some of them, like here, Still, the mint is taller than the tomato plant, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna get that all cut back so my tomatoes can get all the sun that they need. Also, when it's getting watered, right, I want the water to go to the tomato, and not just making the mint taller and taller. And I don't want this mint to go to flower or seed, start to bolt, because chocolate mint is a hybrid mint and it does not grow true to seed. And so I don't want to, have the plants are basically dying when they go to seed. And I don't want that. I want them to just continue to grow. And so the key to that, to keeping it not being invasive and to get wonderful harvests throughout your season, is to keep harvesting and preserving throughout the season. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to wrap up my harvest time over in this area. I might harvest some of the greens that I sowed this year, but the mustard greens are starting to flower. I usually leave 1 or 2 plants in the beds now so that they can drop seed. They'll come back during the fall or next year, so I'll probably leave this plant to do that. This is a big wavy green mustard green, and then I have some red mustards in here too that I'll let that do, but I will go ahead and harvest all the ones that I find that have not started setting flowers so I can enjoy those. And then I'm going to be going through and pulling out callaloo. All that looks great is going to get eaten, and then the rest will get composted, because I really got to get these beds fully opened up now. I'm also going to go through and cut out this. This is like a salad, a kale mix. So I'm going to get these because I noticed that this is starting to set flower. This is the first time I've grown this particular mixture, but I'm going to go ahead and just cut that back. I have a cabbage plant in here, just seeing how cabbage grows down in this garden. I usually grow my cabbage up in my hillside garden because it doesn't get as much sun, but I did set up a couple of plants down here just to see how they do. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get that out of there.
Gravel road, I've been asked to slow down. Fireplace, do you know how? Piles of paper, my desk is out. Who will care for the world now?
Okay, so where it's grown in densely, I'm gonna disrupt the soil a little bit too much if I pull all this out at this stage. So in this area, I'm just gonna cut it, and I'll just keep coming back weekly, however often I need to, and just cutting this back and preserving it, just to keep it at bay so that it's not smothering out all the other stuff. As I said, when I grew this the first year, my plan was just to have dedicated herb beds, but now I want to maximize all my space for more food. So along the front edge here, I'm still pulling it because it's not as dense, and I don't have anything planted up there, so I'm pulling it out at the roots there as best I can anyway. Let's see how long those roots are. That's the plant, that's the roots. You can see the roots on this peppermint are much more shallow than on that ginger mint. And so I can see why that ginger mint is really spreading so vigorously underground. It's just, the roots go so deep, which is kind of cool.
Gravel road, I've been asked to slow down. Fireplace, do you know how? Piles of paper, my desk is out. Who will care for the world now? Rest with me, close to curtains, brew some herbal tea. Reach out for me, take my hand and lead even when I disagree. Oh, how I love when it rains outside, and it's okay to slow the ride. Discover books I forget about. Who care for the world now? Rest with me, close to curtains, brew some herbal tea. Reach out for me, take my hand and lead even when I disagree.
Okay, so I got a lot of the ginger mint. This side here still has more, which I will come back and get tomorrow, because I think what I'm going to do is prepare some pots and directly transplant the rest of this. As I pull it out from the roots, I'm going to directly transplant it into some pots, because I have plenty to take inside to preserve. Then here's what this bed is looking like now. I left that one chunk of mint, peppermint in the center, but I got the rest that was a bit big. And again, as I've mentioned several times, I'll just continue to cut it back as it grows throughout the summer so that it is not getting too big and blocking out the other things that I'm trying to grow. Okay, let's go back inside of the garden now. There's so much chocolate mint that I want to pull, so I'm going to go ahead and leave some of this peppermint in here, and I'll come back and get that, throughout the week as I come out each day to do a harvest. So I'll take this chunk here, and I'm going to leave the rest that's here so far, and we will get that another day. Okay, so here's what I have so far of the peppermint, and then this is all ginger mint, and then all of that is ginger mint. Now I'm going to tackle this peppermint. It's kind of laying down because I came in with the hose and just kind of blasted everything just to make sure if there were any kind of spiders or little bugs on it, that they were washed off before I harvest this and take it indoors. Then I'm also noticing some strawberries are quite red. After I gave it a little water, strawberries be hiding. You don't want to miss them, so I'm going to go around all my beds and look to see if there's anything that's ready to harvest today, and to make a note if I need to come back out tomorrow, because I don't want to miss any of them. Okay, well, didn't quite get all of it because I've already filled up this tray, and I'm going to be freeze drying this batch of mint, and so I don't want to pull more than what could fit on the 4 trays. So I think this is plenty, and if I need more, I will hop back out. So let's get this inside and get it cleaned up and onto the freeze dryer trays. All right, so I have gotten the mint inside. I'm gonna get it cleaned up, and then we're gonna get it all spread on these 4 Harvest Right freeze dryer trays, and then plop them into the freeze dryer. Real quick, I actually just brought this out to refill my jar. This is one of many bags of freeze dried chocolate mint that I did. You see the date, this was last year, September 2024. So this was my last fall harvest. And so I go through this pretty regularly. I'm a big tea drinker, and so is my daughter. And so I did freeze dry a lot. I recorded a lot of footage of my garden last year that I haven't released yet, including preservation of a lot of things that I harvested. So I will take some time to sit down and put all that footage together because, yeah, I hope it inspires, especially those of you like me in short seasons with colder climates, just to see all the things you really can grow if you grow intensely, and then you can preserve and have it to enjoy really for a long time. This still smells so good, and you see the color retention that you get when you freeze dry it. I really love it. All right, let me get these trays in the freeze dryer. Okay, so freeze drying herbs, this is a pretty fast cycle. I think it took about maybe 5-6 hours. I didn't catch it right when it ended because I was in the middle of doing something else. But yeah, it doesn't take as long to do these kinds of herbs, so that's nice. So I'll be able to get a second cycle in, and I will run the rest of those, the ginger mint mostly, and then I have some peppermint. And so just to show you what it looks like, and as I said, I do have a video that I'm going to put together where you can see lots more herbs that I freeze dried from my garden harvest of 2024. Okay, so that's it on freeze drying my mint.